Hey, Drew,
Yeah.
you ready to do 2 4-hour podcasts in a row? No,
Four
boo.
hours? All right, let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a trailer-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and we are back with a surprise trailer drop for Tales of the Underworld. I'm glad that you turned that down because a lot of times I got to turn your soundboard down in post because it's so loud. But yes, we are back with the trailer and super out of nowhere because everyone was thinking, okay, we're going to get a bunch of trailers for Star Wars Celebration that starts in like 2 weeks, literally.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so it's
Kind of
pretty
sad I'm not
crazy
going to be there.
because I think it was I looked at the schedule and like Friday is like, oh, they're gonna talk about the future of animation, and like, okay, we're gonna get a trailer for the next animated show, and we got one now. So I don't know if that means we're not gonna get a trailer for a new show, or if we still are because they didn't want to do 2 trailers for animated shows at the same time. Who knows? So I hope we still get one for like a new like longer series like Bad Batch with 16 episodes, 15, 16 episodes a season. We don't know, but for now, we got Tales of the Underworld. And so they're continuing the Tales anthology series. First, it was Tales of the Jedi, then Tales of the Empire. Now it's Tales of the Underworld, which is basically Tales of bounty hunters.
The
But
bounty hunters.
but Underworld rolls off the tongue a lot easier than bounty
Tales
hunters.
of the bounty hunters.
So
Everyone wants Tales of the Sith. Like,
I
let's
know.
get that. What are we doing?
I don't
Not
know,
that I
dude.
don't want this. It's just like clearly the hype isn't as high as even Tales of the Empire was for this.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited, and
I am too.
comes out May 4th, and it kind of screws with our schedule because Andor is going on at the same time, and we're already going to be trying to do 3 episodes a week
Well, let's
for
be
that.
real.
And so,
Andor screwed up our schedule.
well, that too. But most likely what's going to happen is after Andor is done, we will then do 2 weeks following the characters of these stories.
Mhm.
Which would bring us to the end of May. And so we'll see how it goes. But
Isn't it crazy how like we had nothing and now we have like all this stuff at once
all
and it's
at
just
one
like
time. Yep.
and it's gonna be even more
It's kind of
probably.
crazy. So,
So buckle up, guys.
yep. And we'll be here for it all, kids. So don't worry. We're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nope.
Unless the world comes to an end and
Well, that's out of our
the
control.
zombie
But
apocalypse.
then everyone's gonna be. Speaking of zombies, isn't that this weekend or next weekend?
That's next weekend, next Sunday. I'm not gonna have time to rewatch season 1 of The Last of Us.
No, you're not.
I'm
But
still trying to get caught up on Andor to rewatch that, and so that's my priority.
how far
but
are you right now?
I only watched the first 6 episodes, so
So 6 more to go.
6 more to go.
Not bad. Just throw it
I
on the
can get it.
background.
I can. I'm not gonna put it on the background. I gotta focus.
Oh well, there you go.
But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for The Last of Us season 2.
I am too. And if you guys are, make sure you guys let us know if you guys want a YouTube exclusive episode at some point. At some point we could probably do it.
I don't know when. Oh, dude, that's gonna be so. Well, I think it will actually go through.
It's gonna go longer through, isn't it, than Andor?
7 or 8 episodes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would go to the end of May or the first Sunday in June. So, like, we were gonna take 2 weeks off anyway, and so maybe we'll just do that instead. Do an exclusive on our week off or something. But I don't know.
But that's on YouTube only.
Yep. But we're not here for that. We're here for Tales of the Underworld, so we might as well go over this. So, we will be following 2 characters, Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane, and they did promise us last summer, or I guess before this time last year, like over a year ago, that when Ventress was in that trailer for Bad Batch, that they're like, we're promising there's going to be more content in the future with Ventress, and we were wondering how that was going to play out. Well, here it is, and so um, there's definitely a lot of theories with this, and then Cad Bane too. Like everyone loves Cad Bane; he's the best. But it's kind of like some people are like, do we really care about a backstory about Cad Bane? But we'll talk about that
Why
after
wouldn't we
theories.
though?
I don't know. People just Cad Bane is Cad Bane. What else do we need to know? But we might as well just go through this scene by scene of the trailer and get out of here because right now this is 11:21 at night that we're recording this on a Saturday night. So super cool. All right, so we are on some random desert planet, and there's birds flying around in the sky. And all right, cool. And someone's shushing and says, "Just do as I say." And they're in some
Cavern.
deserty, rocky cavern. Someone's on an Eopie. Someone's driving like a little slow speeder or something like in front. And so I'm guessing this is little Cad Bane
I
in
was
the
gonna
little
say,
one.
who do you think is talking?
Well, it's the guy that just talking to Ventress. It's the same voice.
Oh, okay.
Um, so we'll talk about that as it goes. But then we're back in the desert still, and we have some B1 battle droids that are on sticks, and they're not alive. They're not working, and those birds are perched on the weapon. And so the narrator says, "Never can be too cautious with strangers out there," of course. And then we see the Eopie. I think that's an Eopie going into this little like single
Yeah,
building. Um, it's like I wonder if these droids are like just hardwired and they're actually working, or if they're just there to try and scare people off that
they're
so
like
you don't approach
scarecrows.
scarecrows, scare droids. Um, and then we get a scene of like some industrial planet, tons of factories, polluting the air, very yellowish, greenish atmosphere. So it's
Very Empire-like.
very polluted. Narrator says, then again, and then we see some stormtroopers. So that is a good timeline right there. We're in the Empire, and it's not those like proto trooper ones that we get in Bad Batch that are like based off the original concept art from the original trilogy. So this is definitely after like Bad Batch stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so I think this is definitely after the Ventress's appearance in
So
Bad
do you think
Batch.
we're gonna get a younger Ventress,
I don't think we're gonna
a
get any of that.
medium,
I
or
think
you think it's gonna be just all after Bad Batch?
I think it's gonna be all after Bad Batch for her because I think it's
But
just gonna center around the kid that she has in this.
don't we want to see like how she relived herself?
Oh well,
Because we need a story. Because if the book is canon, which Dave said that, right? That the
so
book is still
right. So
canon.
well, I wonder. I don't know if we're gonna get an episode, but we might get a flashback. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know
I feel like we need to know that to make sure that that book is canon. Because
because
if it's just this, then it's like, so is it
after that
canon
trailer
or?
came out last year with that
Mhm.
thing, the writers or whatever came out was like, we are fully aware of Dark Disciple, and nothing about her being alive now is retconning that book. So I guess you are right. They'll probably get a explanation of that. I don't know if they would do a whole episode though. If they do a whole episode, then it's like then it just ends up being a 2-story arc with this kid, and it's like, what can you do with 2 episodes that are going to be 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long?
Yeah. Unless it's, well, Ahsoka. Okay, so the Tales of the Jedi, they kind of retconned the Ahsoka novel.
They did. They completely retconned that
Do you
book.
think they said they're totally aware and it does not affect it, do you think they're gonna like kind of show that story a little bit?
I think it would have to be a flashback because that way they can answer it more quickly rather than devoting a whole episode. Like obviously, it's witch magic that she brought back to life.
Yeah,
Like
obviously she didn't die or she wasn't buried
some
the proper way or something.
some witch is gonna go to her and
Wake
go
her
to
up.
that pool that Quinlan Voss put her in, that tar pool or whatever, and they're just gonna somehow awaken her. Because I think her cause of death was force lightning.
Hmm.
So like I'm guessing like her body and everything and is still fully functional. There's not like any like puncture wounds from like blaster shots or saber fight, like from like a saber fight or anything. So I
Aren't you
think that
happy, Jeremiah, that we know that story?
I do.
Like, imagine if we actually never read that book. We'd be like, we don't even
And no one
know.
would care. And then like we would see
Yeah,
this, like, huh? So
like
like that would be weird. Like if you've never read the book to have a flashback of her death. Like you just watch Clone Wars and Bad Batch and like, oh okay, cool. Adventure is awesome. And then you get a flashback that she died. But like, I don't know.
I don't
Some
know.
people are thinking we're gonna get Quinlan Voss in this
Ooh,
thing, which I think is possibly when we get to it. I'll show you why. But anyway, yep, stormtroopers. So I'm guessing. So if Bad Batch was each season was like a year, so it's like maybe we're 3 years in to the Empire at this point, um, which would make sense why the stormtroopers are in full action now.
hmm.
Um, but I wonder, at this point, like at the end of Bad Batch, like clones, I guess, were still being used. So I don't know if we're gonna get any remaining clones or what. But
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get more of if there's a Rex show. I feel like we get more of that detail
yeah, so that
aspect.
that would be announced at Celebration. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But moving on, um,
Get the Inquisitor walking.
yeah, you're no stranger. And at first, you think, based on what the next scene, that it's Ventress, but this is actually, if you're paying attention, this is the new Inquisitor with a cool, like, tattered cape thing. Um,
Cape slash cloak or
yep,
whatever.
and it's all tattered on the bottom. It's kind of cool. I like that. It's not like a clean cut. Like I feel like
Mm.
Inquisitors have like a clean cut cape. So this one, maybe this was a sign that this Inquisitor has been on the prowl for a long time and been hunting down a bunch of Jedi. And this is a weathered one, but we see this guy, old guy, and says Lady Ventress, and we see her. And I'll just mention because it's more visible later on, but it looks like it's the same outfit that she had in
The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. So that ties it to the show. It's like either like just before or just after that because the same clothes. So, but she's looking awesome. The cool same haircut,
Hmm.
looking great. Then it goes
Paler
Lucasfilm.
than ever.
What?
She's paler than
Yep.
ever.
Classic ship going to a planet. Okay, quick. We've got a problem here. This is a new voice. And we see uh, Trandoshan and another human. Now, this is my main theory.
Ooh, all right.
That is a younger version of the old guy we just saw that was talking to Ventress. I think these two stories are gonna end up overlapping. We're gonna get Ventress's story during the Empire, and then we're going to get the backstory of Cad Bane, but that story is going to go into the Empire, and I feel like Cad Bane might be going after that kid, and it's going to be Ventress versus Cad Bane in an episode
That would be fire.
because he's gone after Jedi before, like fully grown Jedi, but also like after like little kids and force sensitive babies and stuff. So like he's very trained and capable of getting force sensitive beings. But I think that now it's different, a little different hair, a little different like thing, but it kind of looks like him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Chat, what do you guys think if you're listening? At 30 seconds, the guy in the purple outfit. I think that's a younger version, but we'll have to wait
That'd
and
be
see.
cool.
And it says, just saw him ride in. Ship's landing on May 4th, says, and then we see the boots.
The boots.
No fur on these ones, but definitely Cad
There's
Bane's
bullets.
boots. And
Bullets with the fur.
then someone, look, I think might be the Trandoshan. You see like a big claw hand giving him a hat, classic hat. Now, in my trailer, oh, by the way, go watch our trailer reactions if you haven't already. Go watch those. Drew and I
Mhm.
both have ours. This is these are all young Cad Bane shots because he doesn't have the breather things that he has. So I think these are all younger. Do you think that's his first hat?
Ooh. Okay, first of all, when I did my reaction, I didn't even like look. But yes, this is before. You think Ventress is the reason why he decided to
Decide to what?
do that?
No,
Horse
that
show?
he had that during Clone Wars,
Sure.
the breathing tubes.
So
No,
this
I
is
don't.
way before Clone Wars then.
Yeah, because it'd be his origin story. So I think this is probably like before he's a big bounty hunter, or maybe when he's just starting out.
I'm so
Um,
mad I missed this.
and so like that's what my
Thumbnail.
in my thumbnail when I'm like going like this. That's just me when I'm reacting like, oh, he doesn't have his things on his face.
Oh.
I just took that from my reaction and put it on a thumbnail. So like, I don't know. I think this is his first hat.
Yeah,
Like
that would make sense.
he goes on this planet and it's like super hot or
Hot.
something like that. And he's like, hey, you're gonna need a hat. Take this old one or something. Like, that'd be kind of cool. And then he gets this as his aesthetic. Puts it on.
It's smaller than the Clone Wars one.
Maybe he has a few
It's
different ones, but you look
similar.
up, he looks a lot younger, but he
Oh,
has a toothpick still though.
yes, he does.
So that was his thing before his hat, hopefully. But he's like, what's the situation? So maybe he's just getting hired for a job or something like that for this one. He's getting on there. Return to a galaxy, it says. And we see Cad Bane walking in like an empty city street type of thing under like
Corridor kind of thing.
something. And he was your best friend. Things have changed. You took everything from me. So we get like going back. This trailer, like as you go further into a trailer, the scenes get shorter and shorter. Like but there's a greenish Duros, which I feel like all Duros that we've seen have been blue. But we get
Yeah.
some green ones in here. And so I've read the Star Wars article on StarWars.com article about the
Oh, so you
show.
cheated.
No, I didn't cheat. But clearly, like these two people are kind of like Cad Bane is at odds with this guy, and we see later on that they're going to do like a duel.
hmm
So basically, what it is this guy. Now I don't know if this is his friend or not. Like they make it sound like this is his friend, but I think this might not be his friend. I think his friend might have died or something at the hands of this guy or something because this guy is like a police officer type of person. So like Cad Bane's a bounty hunter, lives by his own rules, doesn't follow the law, and then you have this guy that he knows, and there's kind of on the opposite sides of the law. So it's kind of like where the conflict is, at least in this story. So I don't know. Do you think this is his friend that he was best friends with, and now they're no longer friends, or do you think this is
Well, it could be that they were friends, and he said things had changed because now he is a police officer and not a bounty hunter, or like not a bad guy anymore.
right?
So now he has to get rid of him because something he did.
Because he says you took everything from me. So
hmm
it's like at
So it could
49
be that
seconds
he took his friend away.
took his
In the
friend, or like I wonder because later on in trailer it might be coming up pretty quick, but like he It looks like there's like a little child Cad Bane maybe. So something maybe happened. Like maybe it was his father was killed or something like that, or some traumatic thing when he was a kid that he experienced, and this is referring to that. That's separate from his friend.
Mm-hmm.
So like trailers they chop things together and make you think one thing that's not actually there, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. But he says it's so weird seeing him
Without a
without a
hat
hat
on. I
on,
know.
and like he has like the
And
metal
without
plate in
the
his head
scar.
too,
Does
and
he?
like and he has like a face that's more tattered and stuff. I feel like during Clone Wars and Bad
Yeah, yeah,
Batch,
yeah. In this version, he
he's
just looks
like
like a blue alien.
young, baby face skin, like
Yeah.
clean. Um,
Looks literally what an alien would look like.
yep. So it's gonna. I think it's gonna be weird
What's
seeing him like this in
interesting
the show.
is
Like,
that I feel like his voice always sounded like thinking because of his thing he put on is like that's why his voice was more raspy. But in this show, like his voice is the same
same. I think the actor's trying to sound a little bit less raspy, just like to portray a younger version.
version of
But it's
himself.
still the same actor, same voice. Like it's
Yeah.
super cool. It'd be funny if that little kid is him, how close the voice is, if it's raspy or anything like that, which is
It's
a
like,
higher pitch.
Dad. No.
Yep. And then we see another. Now, here's the thing. So the next scene at 51 seconds, it's the same green guy. And later on in the trailer, like at the very last scene, he's like, is this revenge going to be worth it? And Kevin's like, it will be. Like that guy is with him and behind him, like they're working together, kind of. It's like this scene here is like the same kind of coloring, like at the last scene. So it's like I feel like this trailer is very deceptive on what it's trying to play. Like this is not the friend that
I
betrayed
don't think
him.
this is his friend or
So they're gonna work together somehow at some point. And so then you see, then really really quick you see like just a few frames, some droids throwing what looks like a younger Duros or something down, maybe a female Duros.
it could be like his brother
Or that could be the friend that
that's missing.
or something that was taken
Well,
away.
I think like this guy that's pointing with the gun is the same guy that we see later on
Right.
that he shoots.
And then right after we see this droid throw
Because
this,
it almost looks like you're right. Like it kind of almost looks like he's a police officer and he told the droid to go arrest. And it could
maybe.
be like maybe his little brother or some family member
Yep.
that he took from him. But then later, kind of throws you off a little bit.
Yeah. So then right after that, we see a little child blue Duros with another Duros that, or I don't know, is that a Duros also?
Yeah, I think it's just a
Because it's just like
female.
the eyes are the same, but it's like a much different shaped face, which just might be the female.
I think it's just a female.
Like they have a different shaped
But then,
facial
like, the
structure.
lighting and stuff looks like similar to the same time as when they do the duel, so it could be his wife, like who Cad Bane is
What if
fighting.
what if
It's that
he's
guy's wife and his kid.
what if like he loses his kid and his wife? You took everything from me. That Cad Bane was married with a kid, and they both died.
I was thinking more the opposite, where like they're dueling, and that's a guy because he doesn't want to duel him. Will this revenge be worth it? Like that's his wife and his kid looking on at this duel.
I don't know,
Or
but
maybe
like
he arrested that girl, which was Cad Bane's girl, and then they ended up getting married and having a kid. Ooh, that would have been cool.
I don't know. But it would be cool that like. Did you
It
ever
kind of makes you
watch?
think that it's like young Cad Bane
Right.
and he's looking upon that, but it's a completely different scene and planet. So
I
like
know.
it's not.
My theory is that that's Cad Bane's wife and kid. That's my canon.
Mm.
But Have you seen X-Men Apocalypse?
Hmm. A long time ago, but yes.
Like how Magneto, like gets married and has a kid, and he's living in the middle of like a small village and living a
Hmm.
simple, quiet life, and then they find out that he has powers, and then like they go to arrest him, and then like his wife and kid die, and then he
Hmm.
goes crazy. I feel like that's the Cad Bane story. Like he was a good guy.
Ooh,
His
that'd be
wife and
kind of cool.
kid gets killed,
And then he has nothing else to live for,
and
so
then
he
he just
doesn't
becomes a
care.
bounty hunter and doesn't care anymore. Like I think that would be a cool.
That would be a
It's
cool
kind of a
story.
cliche story, but it's cool that like Cad Bane
Either way, we're gonna figure out
turned bad.
how
Like he
Cad
was
Bane
good.
became Cad Bane.
Yeah, the cool to see like he was good and then turned bad because of trauma in his life. Screen says outside the law, and then it says who are you? And people have a speculation about this. Does that remind you of anything? That's the city at night right there.
Mm-mm.
People think that that is Dayu, where Kenobi and Lil Leia went.
Oh,
Now,
kind of.
kind of.
Because then Dayu was
Now,
like
so
very
here's the thing.
Japanese feeling. Though.
So with like that kid, um, that I think she finds this kid. Like she wasn't like recruited him or anything. I think she found this kid that was a survivor of Order 66, and I think she's gonna get involved with the path that goes to save kids that are force sensitive and other Jedi. And that part of that was connected to Dayu with that fake Jedi, right? So if this is
True.
Dayu, it could be the path. Might be a spot where the path and Ventress is working with the path or is trying to get the kid to
To
get
the
into the
path.
path. I think that would be really cool that like and that would be the connection to Quinlan Voss.
Oh,
So like he's involved with the path because we learned that from the Kenobi series. So like he
yes.
thinks she's dead. She shows
Bro.
up with a kid that's force sensitive
Bro.
and they see each other.
Imagine.
And then he's like, "Hey, babe, can't stop true love, right?" And then they fall in love again, and they live happily ever after.
Mm, I want that for them.
I think that would be really cool if they both work in the open, like the path, and
Oh,
they
I want
randomly
that
run into
for
each
them
other.
so bad. But I feel like they have to explain that because people don't know.
Unless
Like
that whole episode is them reuniting, and then it was like a big flashback or something. But
it's just like a different version of the book, kind of like the Soka
or
one.
or maybe the first episode is just her finding that kid, and then the two episodes are them those two reuniting and having a bunch of flashbacks and stories and stuff. I don't know, but it would be hard to explain that whole thing of them
Well,
two.
and what's interesting about her character is we don't need like her as a little kid. You know what I mean?
Right?
We
Because
have
we
so
get
much of her character in the Clone Wars and
yeah,
stuff.
and we get like flashbacks of when she was a little kid and stuff in Clone Wars. So it's like we know that like we know her whole backstory that she was taken by pirates, stranded on a planet. Some
Hmm.
stranded Jedi trained her. He died. She turned bad, and was found by Dooku. So like we don't need a backstory for her,
Mm-mm.
but
That'd
we'll
be
know.
cool.
Yep. But says, "Who are you?" is being narrated, going through. Um, I was Count Dooku's lead assassin, and she's talking to that kid. And there's like these medals on the wall. I'm going back to get more. So those are
Imperial medals.
no, those are separatists. I believe that's a separatist
Oh yeah, I
logo.
think you're right.
I'm bad with my logos, but I think those are separatist medals. So maybe she's somehow trying to connect with an ally on a separatist planet, former separatist planet, or maybe or something. I don't know. or maybe that guy that she was talking to that calls her Lady Ventress, like he was former separatist, worked for Dooku, and this is like his
That would make
medals.
sense because he wouldn't call her. He called her by that,
Right. So like
So
they know each other,
yeah,
but this kid is there. Um, and so then she's like getting shot at outside through the door.
by the kid.
Yep, and she has her yellow saber, which is super cool. I love yellow. That's my favorite saber color. And I
And
really
it
like
kind
how she.
of.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the hilt kind of looks Dooku-y, like it's rounded.
Curved, yeah. She always had the curved sabers, so it's like super cool. Um, I like how she like fights off this person shooting at her because like there's like the slit in the door, like window in the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then she like the gun is shooting through, pointing through, and she closes the door so then the gun gets pinched between the wall and the door because it gets pinched in the window. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was really cool. But I think it was like a woman that was shooting the gun. Yeah, it's not the kid. At first, I thought it was a kid,
Oh yeah, you're right.
but it's like a woman.
At 58 seconds, it's
Yeah,
not the kid. Never mind.
and then you see her like stab a stormtrooper in the chest really quick.
You see a
He falls
droid fall.
down, and then a droid falls down. So it's like two different scenes of where she's fighting. I don't want to live that life anymore, referring back to her being Dooku's lead assassin. So she wants to live a noble life. She wants to do something good, it
Good.
seems to imply.
Mm-hmm.
Turns around, looks at the kid. And so, since we have the screenshot on the kid, people are speculating who this kid is. There's two leading theories. Have you looked at any of these theories?
Mm-mm.
The big one that people want to be true is that this is Jod, and that Ventress was the one that trained him. I don't think that's true because this kid looks like he's probably like 14, 15, 16. And Jod at Order 66 would have been early 20s, probably like 22, 23 with my Star Wars math. And if this is a few years after that, then it would be mid 20s at that point. But this kid looks a lot younger. So the second theory that people have is that this is Petro from Clone Wars, one of the kids that like Ahsoka like goes to Ilum with, and like they
Mm-hmm.
get stranded and stuff like that and attacked by pirates. I think that would be cool. I would really like that because he does have a lightsaber, so that means implies that he was a former Padawan because Jod was just not, or he was just a random person that was found that was force sensitive, so he wouldn't have had a lightsaber.
Yeah.
But so I think it'd be cool if this was Petro because he was a cool character, but it could just be a new random person, another survivor of Order 66. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, moving on. Let
I
us
think
know
it.
in the
I
comments
think
who do you think this
there's.
is.
I think there's more evidence for it to be a random kid than someone we actually know.
Right. And then they're in like a landing hangar bay, kind of like we see on Tatooine. And lights go out, and then from the shadows we see the cloaked person with a tattered hem, and Ventress turns her saber on, and then we see a wide shot of the two. So it's an Inquisitor, super cool. And we'll see later on it's a new Inquisitor, not anyone we know. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited for that. And then it jumps to um,
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane and that green Duros. And I'm just realizing first time that kid
Yeah.
is at the top of the stairs. So maybe, unless, what if that's Kid Cad Bane? That's his dad with the hat, and the hat that
Ooh.
he gets at early in the trailer is his dad's hat. So we see this guy. He sees this guy kill his dad. Oh, what do you think?
It's too much like Boba Fett.
I don't know.
It would be interesting though if that's actually not Cad Bane and that was actually his dad the whole time. And then this duel happens, and then Cad Bane takes everything.
So we have to. Maybe we'll see later on. Maybe there's a close up during this scene. Maybe we can see better. But like, they could definitely like say that it's because there's no tubes on the face. Like it could be anyone technically if he's in the scene. If he's not talking, like it could be any Duros that's blue.
Hmm. I really think that something happened when he was younger, when Cad Bane was little, and whoever got arrested, unless that guy just arrested Cad Bane as a little kid, and he was in jail forever, and then he became evil because he was tortured in prison, and he took everything away from him,
Maybe.
and now he's getting revenge because this guy he got out of jail or whatever, and he got there, and then this guy has a family, and he's just gonna murder him in front of his kid. That's kind of dark, dude. You just
It's a
think
kids
about
show,
that.
everybody. But anyway, we
Like,
see a
if
close up on.
Cabin's literally gonna, no matter what, if this is, I don't know,
But we see
a kid
here.
is gonna watch this person die.
Right. But we see close up on the hip of this blue Duros, whether it's Cad Bane or his father or something. Gun. I don't know if that gun is the same gun that Cad Bane uses. I'm not good with my weaponry in Star Wars,
I think it is,
but
but it could easily be like Cabin just takes everything after his dad dies.
right. But they're just standing off, looking at each other. Um, Ventress is then it flashes back to Ventress guarding the child, the kid, teenager. Uh, Dialogue says no one needs to die. That's from the Cad Bane story. So then we get a close up at 120 of this person. That has a different shaped face. I feel like than the Cad Bane we saw earlier when he got off the ship. I don't know because there's a little like line on his upper lip, like a scar, kind of.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
You don't think so?
I
I'll,
think
I'll
it.
go. I'll go back to when he gets off the ship and we see like what's the situation. At 39. Oh, I guess there is a line there. Never mind. I don't know. I don't know. See, this is a trailer. This is what happens when we over speculate. But see where were we at? We gotta go from where I
Minute
was.
21.
Minute 21. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Who knows? We'll watch the show. Stay tuned, kids.
Yes.
And so they're just eyeing each other. The green Duros looking at each other. Ventress is looking. Then we get at 122. We see the face of this Inquisitor. Very unique mask.
Hmm.
It's like
Which
an
you don't
open.
really see that when you're watching the trailer. It's so quick.
Yeah, like there's an open face mask with like the mouth is covered, but like the eyes, cheek, and nose, but we don't really see a nose really. Can't really see what species because you see like these lines.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I don't know my,
This is the first time pausing it for me.
but it has this person has glowy orange eyes. So this could be like Sith eyes, kind of like they're that evil that turn to the dark side. They got the Sith eyes, but
They're cool looking because, like, when you're watching this trailer, how fast it is.
yeah, like it's hard to see. But
It's
like
kind of like, oh, like I thought it was a female Inquisitor the whole time
I think it is.
with that face.
It's an
Ah,
alien. What do you know?
bro,
What is
with
an?
that face, I would turn evil too.
What the
Just saying.
back to Cad Bane's pistol. Then we see a close up on Ventress's saber. And then Eyes of Cad Bane,
Which
Eyes of the Green.
you gotta love the artist, bro.
Yep. And then quick draw, they make the shot. We don't see who gets hit. And then it goes to the Inquisitor and Ventress. She's running at the person. Then it jumps. See, this is going nonstop, like 3 frames for everything. The Cad Bane is shooting 2 blasters at the guy. And then it's Ventress with her sable going at the thing. It says 2 bounty hunters. Quick Cad Bane face. Ventress in a ship using the Force. And then we see Ventress at like a door, kind of, or in a hallway door thing with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stormtroopers, a Viper droid, probe droid thing. I forget what it's called.
And that guy?
And I think that might be the woman that was at the door, maybe. That was shooting through the door, maybe. I don't know.
Protecting her kid. Yeah, because if you look later at 132, you can see her hiding while they're fighting
Yeah, and so
around her.
then
It's someone. If either it's a girl who is shooting, but she kind of looks different.
yeah,
It could
so
just be a
then
random building they
person.
ran into.
Yep. So then we see the teenager kid turn his blue lightsaber on. Ventress is standing between the stormtrooper and the kid and says, "Get them." And you see the kid just take out there's like a big kind of explosion in the back. The kid gets a big swing, undercut swing at the stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
Took him out. The woman kind of like crouched down. Ventress in the back. It says will survive. So 2 bounty hunters will survive. Just continuing the phrases. Got a police chase down that same city that we think could be Dayu, maybe.
Which is, I think this is little Cad Bane.
So then we see Cad Bane. Oh, look at his hat. It's a much smaller brimmed hat. It's more like almost like a fedora kind of, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely small.
But he's jumping over through a door opening where there's like fruit and veggies, like in a supermarket or something. Dead Alkalish on the ground. R.I.P. Then we see a droid shooting. This is like the same like where the duel was between Cad Bane and
Yeah,
the
and
green
that
guy.
guy is hiding that kid behind him.
Is the kid there?
Mm-hmm.
Cause I think that's just his leg, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know. I don't see a kid yet, but he's hiding back behind like the
He's
door,
hiding.
kind of.
Yeah, I think that kid is like behind there.
But he's having a shootout from up on the steps. Some random guy just falls from a building.
Yeah, what the heck?
And it says in the shadows. So 2 bounty hunters will survive in the shadows. Ventress again attacking, and then this is where we get like some cool like quick shot of the duel between her and the Inquisitor. Maybe we can get a better look on the face.
No.
It's pretty quick, flashy.
It's kind of cool to go backwards. You go backwards fast. You can see the fight and then go backwards. It's kind of cool. Watch
But I'm
the fight
excited
in
for
reverse.
this duel.
Duel's gonna be good, dude.
Very acrobatic.
Mm.
Ventress gets kicked in the face and gets launched. Then we see a bunch of stormtroopers like running on like a tarmac towards like some star destroyers that are like landed on an atmosphere type of thing, or maybe it's like a or maybe this is Corellia because they built ships on Corellia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we see a little Han Solo and Kira in the background or something. Teenagers or something. That'd be kind of funny. Um, Ventress is running on the tarmac.
You got those Clone Wars ships shooting.
That I don't know. At 143,
Mm-hmm.
we see that. I think that's Corellia. Maybe. I feel like it has some of the similar like
Yeah.
building structure because there's that like, long dock type of thing like there, kind of.
Yeah.
This might be Corellia. That'd be kind of cool. And there's like an attack happening. Like I don't know if this is like some sort of like early rebel cell or something like early on that's fighting back, but they're blowing crap up. LAAT T's are flying through.
Mm-hmm.
Says you're gonna pay for what you did, and it's just kind of like a fire, burning fire.
I think this is Cad Bane's story.
And then, yep. So there's mixing back and forth, but there's see the green Duros, Cad Bane, more another droid in the back.
That's interesting
What?
because that hmm.
What?
Well, because earlier we saw that guy pointing at the droid, and the droid arrested someone, but it wasn't Cad Bane because it didn't look like him.
Right.
And now you see Cad Bane in that same spot, in the same lighting with the droid and that guy, younger.
Yep. And then at the end, like I said, at the end, it looks like the green guy is with Cad Bane.
Hmm.
But then we see here at 148 Ventress and the kid with Slavers.
And then
And
those
I think she's training him there. Because this goes back to like the early scene when you got those Scarecrow
scarecrow.
B1 battle droids.
Yeah.
So it's like they're training
Mm-hmm.
kind of here, which is cool. And then we see a huge like speeder bike race, like chasing after. Like these are tons of them. There's like 30 of these guys just flying by while the kid
Chasing
and
Ventress and the kid.
Ventress are on a speeder trying to get away. Super fast, really quick. Cad Bane shooting a bunch of stuff, shooting Trandoshan up on a rail. Ventress on that
No, because that's the Transocean.
from the beginning.
Yes.
Yep. Big huge
The
yellow
one
one.
that was like walking with Cad Bane.
Yeah. But then we see Ventress. She's on what with could be Corellia, still fighting. Takes out an LAAT. This revenge, I hope it was worth it. And then we see Cad Bane looking down. It will be. And then he looks up. And then we see the green Duros in the background right there.
Yeah, but it looks like he's arrested.
Who? The
Cad
green
Bane
one?
is.
No, because he's
Yeah, because that droid, it looks like he could be arrested.
but like
And he's getting walked away by the
so
droid.
then you think when he says, "Will this revenge be worth it?" and he says, "It will be." Do you think those are two completely different conversations?
Yeah, I think he's saying,
Because he can't get revenge now when he's arrested.
yeah, he's going to get revenge. It will be.
So this is before the duel,
This is before the duel.
separate episode.
Yeah. So it seems like something happens and
A job
hit,
goes wrong or something.
yeah, and then he's saying that I hope this revenge was worth it, and then he said it will be, like I'm gonna kill you later, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Because if you look back to where was it when you first see someone get arrested and this kid's hiding?
Oh, the younger one.
Yeah. Where is that?
I don't know. It's literally like 2 frames, so it's like can't even know how to find him.
At like 150 or 51 seconds.
51 seconds.
Someone's getting arrested. and this is the same situation. So I wonder if Cat Bane was working with someone else and they got
Maybe
arrested.
that guy is Cad Bane's kid. They're working a job together, and his kid gets caught
Mhm.
or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But that's it. That's the end of the trailer. Super jam packed, nonstop, a lot of action. I'm excited. I'm more excited for the Ventress story than the Cad Bane story. What about which one are you more excited for, Drew?
Um, if it I'll be more excited for the Cad Bane if this is just, like, part of it, and then we potentially hear me out.
Okay.
But if potentially this could pick up after Boba Fett and he's alive.
Oh gosh.
Like, if this is, like, the beginning and then, like, the 3rd episode is him waking up with his droid and, like, hunting down Boba Fett and they continue that on somehow or something, that would be super dope, and
I'll
I
be
would
so mad if they bring him back.
Bro,
He's dead. I
he's
need him to
not.
be
He
dead. His
can't
story's
be.
done.
He can't be. He can't be.
Well, people
Um,
are wondering if
I'm
because
excited for the Ventress if we see some sort of solution to the book.
right, and I want to see Quinlan Voss. That'd be super cool to see him.
That'd be dope. But if it's just like her and this kid and we have no answers at all, then that's just stupid. Then it's like you still didn't acknowledge this book
They
at
promised us
all.
that an explanation is in the works. So maybe if we don't get this one, then the next animated show would be a Venture show, which we speculated we could get
Mm,
back when that happened in Bad Batch.
I think, yeah.
But I don't know.
I think it would make sense if they like show that she's doing good and stuff like that, and she's training this kid, and then they also are showing us how she got there, that she's not dead, and we can kind of see some sort of solution to acknowledge that this book was real and wasn't a waste of our time reading this thing, and then it's like not even a thing because that would be cool because then maybe in if they did like a rec show or something and he's working with her consistently to help funnel these like Jedis through this somehow, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
It'd be sweet if this ties into whatever animated series they're making and she's involved in that series.
right.
That'd be cool. But I also like the Cad Bane stuff. I love his character. It'd be cool to see him like get his tubes in.
In a flashback,
Yeah,
I
or
think
flash forward
he
technically.
always had him in Clone Wars. I have to like look up the
I'm pretty
first his
sure.
first appearance to see if he had those because like I can't remember, but I think he's always had those. Um, but
I think like they did this bounty hunter thing. Don't you think it would have been cool to see Boba Fett after the Clone Wars?
we could.
Like that would have been really sweet if we would have got like
Well, some
a
people want that because one of the episodes that was never made from
is how
season,
Boba Fett got his dent.
yeah, when they got the duel, they dueled each other, and Cad Bane caused a dent in Boba Fett's helmet.
So it'd be cool if we actually they fix that. They
We could do
saw.
that. Like they could just be keeping that out of the trailer um, to surprise us. But that I think that's something that a lot of people want.
Yeah. Cause like okay, so like the Soka show, right? When we first got the trailer, it wasn't like her whole life, I don't think. Was it? The Tales of the Jedi? Or was it
No,
pretty obvious?
we got clips from all three of those episodes,
That's true.
but like we never
This
got any
is
context to the story though.
be interest because both shows, Tales of the Jedi and then the Empire, it was like 3 different timelines in their lives, right?
Well, no, Morgan Elsbeth, she had those were three big jumps. Those
That's
Clone
true.
Wars, Middle of the Empire, and then New Republic. Barris was pretty
That's
scrunched
true.
together. I
Barry's
think
was.
it was like when she got recruited, um, her first mission as a Inquisitor, and
And then
then
when she was good.
years later when she was in hiding and healing people and stuff.
So we could get jumps too.
Right. So
Do you was Tales of the Jedi, was it Ahsoka and just um
Dooku, yes.
Dooku? Why did I
Yep.
always think there was 3 for some reason?
I don't know.
So is this Dooku and
So they always just do 3 episodes on
2
two
characters?
characters, which is
And you think it's safe to say that we can expect this every May 4th? Because it hasn't been
I
like
don't know.
that.
Well, I think trying to think, when did it come out last year?
I think
Tales
it
of the
was May 4th.
No, because I think what was it? Vision season 2 came out May 4th last year. I don't remember when Tales of the Empire came out. Was that last year? Tales of the Empire. Let's
May 4th,
see.
yeah, 2025
So
or
that
2024.
interesting. I thought so. Then did Vision season 2 come out the same day? Looking up. Volume 2.
Oh, Tales of the Jedi came out in October 2022. Oh Lord, we waited 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh, so Visions was 2 years ago on May 4th. Was that
Hmm.
long ago?
Vision season 2.
Yeah. So it was Vision season 2 of May 4th, and then it was Tales of the Empire
I
on the 4th, and now
I
this one.
I think we're gonna
So
get Vision season 3 releasing that.
I think that would be end of summer.
Yeah, I think we'll get like a trailer at Celebration or
Oh yeah,
something.
that'll be on the Sunday. They're doing that.
Because they already said that they're gonna do another season of just Japanese artists, right?
Yeah, it's all Japanese artists with some of the return studios. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get any sequels to the season 1 stories,
I hope so.
but I don't know.
The twins, California Saber, bro.
They left that one open for a sequel. We gotta bring that one back. The Ninth Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
That one's like the best one for like a continued story.
The samurai, they could just do
The dual guy. They could just
whatever they
do
want,
yeah.
and that's like the thing they promote that thing like crazy.
But I don't remember which studios did which one, so I don't know if the return ones are any of the ones that we want sequels to.
Mm.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll get a sequel to the one with the the band that got signed by
Oh
Jabba.
yes,
With
that's the one
was
I want.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was whatever his name was. He was like the voice of the English one
Yeah,
singer.
that's what we want. That's what we need. A band.
Yep. But that is the trailer. Let us know who you think, what your theories are, who you think this kid is, all that kind of stuff. Um, do you think my theory is that there's going to be overlap in the stories? But I don't know. We'll
I don't
find
think
out.
so anymore.
It'd be kind of cool.
It'd be sweet though. I would love to see Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane fight.
That'd be really cool.
Intense. But I want Cad Bane with his tubes, obviously.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
But it would be cool to see that's why he got his tubes, is because and both like a Clone Wars flashback and them fighting.
Beforehand, before Clone Wars. 'Cause I think it was he must have got it before the Clone Wars. Or maybe in this arc he gets injured somehow by like maybe like the mission that he's on that he gets arrested on is like he was fighting a Jedi on like a bounty hunter thing or something. And like that's when he learned that, oh, I gotta defend against them, like because the Jedi force choked me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I lost the mission, failed the mission, or something like that.
I think we might see that because we didn't get him with those tubes. Makes
But
sense. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think
and
it's
that's
fun.
less than a month away now,
By 2 days, yeah.
so that's exciting. So literally 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, because now it's Sunday officially now, because after midnight. So we can say 4 weeks from today is when that comes out,
May
and
4th.
in 2 weeks is Star Celebration, and 2 weeks, 2 days it's Andor season 1 or season 2, episode 1. So one, two,
One,
and
two, and
3.
three.
Yep. So
Don't you forget that.
tons of content coming up, kids.
Buckle up.
But until then, we have some voicemails tonight to get the finish off concerning the trailer. And so let's take a
Ooh.
listen, or let's transition over first.
It's voicemail time.
All right. First up from Sky King. So let's take a listen to this voicemail.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Sky King. I'm just calling in to share with you guys a hot take that I have. Not a very huge hot take, just kind of a little hot take.
A little
With
hot.
the new trailer for Tales of the Underworld coming out today, my hot take is that I really don't like the Tales series at all. Aside from like one good Ahsoka episode with her training, they're all kind of trash. Like
That is.
Jeremiah thinks the first half of New
Ooh.
Hope is trash.
Ooh.
So yeah, even though it was a good trailer, they've all been good trailers. I've been hyped each time and always kind of left disappointed. And so even though I really like Asajj Ventress, I'm kind of not holding out hope for this one. But we'll see. Hopefully it's good. The past couple weeks, I watched the original trilogy again a few weeks ago. And while I was watching it, I developed a pretty big Star Wars hot take that hopefully I'll be able to share coming up here pretty soon. I want to get it out next week to get Andrew's reaction, but kind of got to get my thoughts together on it and get organized to get it in a voicemail or two. So we'll see if I get it out. Hopefully. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Sky King. And you could not be more wrong about your opinion. I love the Dooku episodes so much. Like the first one, like with him with Qui-Gon, super great. We see him
Dude, yeah.
best.
Well,
And that Yaddle episode, that is honestly one of my favorite things in all of Star Wars. Like that episode could be my top 10 all time Star Wars things. I love that. I go back and watch that fight, the music, the like aesthetics of like how they like
that is
portray
the
the light and dark.
really hot take.
So like
Like,
you not liking them, thinking they're trash, like except for like you said like one of the Ahsoka episodes, like
that is like the hottest take of all
uh,
time. And
no,
what Ahsoka episode are you talking about?
I think he was talking about like her getting her training to like
With
fight,
with
which
Anakin?
it's good, but
That's not the best one.
like I don't know. I can understand Tales of the Empire, like the Morgan Elsbeth stuff was kind of underwhelming, and I really liked the Barris stuff, but like it left me wanting more, and so I was
Mhm.
like that's disappointing in that sense. But like I still really like her story and how it developed and how it ended.
I like the bear stuff. I thought that was really good. Morgan, it was like a character that like we didn't really need, but
Yeah,
it was still fine.
yeah, but like
The Dooku stuff is so good though.
yeah.
The Ahsoka stuff for me, I felt like it was kind of. I think in the moment I really liked it, but like in hindsight, it was like,
Well, I
did we
like that
need
third
it?
episode where she kills that Inquisitor without a saber. Like she takes it from him and kills him, and then the fire's going around. Like that's a super cool.
Yeah, but it broke the book,
Yeah,
which kind of ruined that for
yeah.
me.
I was never really impressed by the book, so like I don't care as much. But like
Mm.
I still really like that scene when she kills that Inquisitor and stuff. But I think you
But
need to go back and watch that first one with Dooku and the third one Dooku with the Yaddle fight. Like
but
give,
the
give it a chance.
Ventress though, like I really enjoyed her book. Like I really enjoyed that book a lot. So I'm like really afraid that they're gonna ruin that too.
I don't
Like
know. We'll have to wait and
the
see.
kind of way
I
the
still have
way.
faith, fingers crossed, that what they said is
Me too.
true, that they're not retconning anything, and it's just magic.
I
Death,
mean,
mystery, and magic.
it's a
Which,
very easy way to fix, like, to say
yeah,
it's
like,
real, like,
so like to not do it that way
would
would be
be
really lazy.
dumb.
So we'll just have to wait and
So
see.
yeah, the chat's like, my heart just broke a little.
But
Yeah, it's
Sky King, we are excited to hear your crazy hot take about the original trilogy. Hopefully, you'll have that sent in by Wednesday for part 4 of the new Jedi Order breakdown that Andrew has been doing
the last
last
one.
week. So get it in, because who knows when we'll have him on again. Hopefully, we'll get him on for some Andor episodes, but we'll have to wait and see for that.
Hopefully, he can just start coming back once a month, like he's supposed to.
Yep.
So
But we'll see.
we got to remind him that just because he did 4 weeks in a row doesn't count for 4 months.
Right.
Because he already missed 6 months to prepare for this.
We can give him 2 months. This will count as 2 months because he did March and April. We'll give him that. But
oh, sure, that's fine.
we'll,
But in May,
allow
though, because he already missed 6 months leading up to, we got to remind him, like, oh, wait, don't you remember you're supposed to come on once a month? You promised us that. You really liked coming back, and this doesn't count for those months.
Yep.
So if you guys want to clip that and send it to him, feel free.
Yep, go right ahead. Well, thank you, Sky King. Hope to hear from you next week. But we have one more voicemail from Yaretsi, and I might have to send this over to Andrew because he could do something with the opening of this voicemail from Yaretsi. But let's take a listen to her thoughts on this trailer as well.
It's trailer breakdown time. Hey, Empire Radio. This is Yaretsi, and I have 2 questions pertaining to the trailer. Number 1, do you think that kid is Ventress's Padawan? I do. I think that he is Ventress's Padawan, and I think that he is a Jedi who escaped Order 66. And I also think that her story is going to be set after the Bad Batch. But that's just what I think. I don't really have a reason why. And then my second question is, for Cad Bane's side of the story, do you think we're going to see how he gets that annoying little droid named Toto? Anyway, bye.
All right, thank you, Yaretsi, and thank you for the singing opening. Like, maybe I'll have to send the clip over to Andrew, send it to Andrew because he did the voicemail one with Drew's voice singing. So maybe we can get that to be our new trailer
Intro
moving forward. We'll have to see. But question is, do you think that this kid is a Padawan for her? Like, is she training him to be her apprentice type of thing? Maybe to some degree. We see it looks like she was training him a little bit, but I don't know if like she's gonna like take on a full on apprentice or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I like your theory more like she is helping funnel him.
Yeah, I think she's just gonna bring him. She's like, I'm gonna give you some pointers for now. Your form kind of sucks, but here, we're gonna get you to the path. And then second question about Toto. Are we gonna get a Toto? What if that was just one episode? I need a droid to help me out, and it's just him looking for a droid.
Heck no, dude.
Goes to like some Jawas and on Tatooine. I hear you have an old whatever droid available, and blah blah blah, and they send him on a mission to go get something.
Maybe the whole conversation about like we used to be you guys used to be best friends was actually him talking about Toto.
That'd be kind of funny.
And then he just starts abusing him.
Speaking of Jawas, so in the game Star Wars Outlaws, there is a mission where you have to get a certain part from the Jawas to like upgrade your speeder or whatever it was. And they're like, well, what you gotta do is you gotta get us a tooth from a Sarlacc pit, but not from the first mouth, but from the second mouth, deep within the creature. And so you go on this mission, whatever. Like, there's a dead Sarlacc, whatever, and like, there's like you have to like kill all the raiders. They're like in there trying to like harvest it for things. You go in there, whatever. You go deep underground, get inside it. You get the tooth. You bring it to the Jawas because like, oh, it's a super rare and like expensive thing. Like to get this thing, you give it to the Jawas, and they all celebrate. And then they just throw it in their box. So it has like 100 of those teeth in it.
Oh my gosh.
I was so mad. Like, it wasn't a
Kinda
hard
like-
mission, but like it was just annoying.
It's
Like,
like, why?
just like the whole stupid egg thing from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say it's like the egg from the Mandalorian where like they just open up, start eating it. Do you like that game?
it was okay.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I beat it a long time ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was okay. It was okay. Like the gameplay and the glitches were terrible. Like I probably give it like overall like a 6 out of 10. But like if the glitches were better, like or fixed, like
Like,
there wasn't an
fixed.
issue, I might give like an 8 out of 10. But like,
But
they
then it
had a
was.
massive patch to like fix a lot of the things, but it wasn't enough to like,
Isn't that crazy? Because that means it was worse.
yeah.
That's so bad. And then also like it's not as open world as like they were making it out to be.
No, it was like there was. I'm trying to think.
Like, could you just go on your speeder and turn left if you wanted to? And
Well, it depends
just
on
go
what planet.
off and
Like,
go
like
hunting.
there are two planets like Tatooine and Toshera that were like big open areas. Like Tatooine was really big open area. You could do that. Toshera was big and open, but like the other big planet was like it was like jungle, mountains and stuff. So you couldn't just go anywhere because there's like mountains in your way.
Mm.
So you have to like follow all these different like roads and paths and go through tunnels and stuff. You could like use your speeder to like go on rivers and stuff like and stuff. So that was
Gotcha.
like, but then there was like the fourth map was like a city, kind of like a town city thing. So it's like it was like a smaller map, but it was mostly like open world. But it was like 3 main big maps. So it wasn't like
It's not like
other
Red Dead
open
or
worlds where
something.
it wasn't like that big of an open world, but it was kind of like spread out in 3 different.
You haven't played
planets.
Red Dead, right?
No, I almost bought it like a month or two ago. I was looking on the store and it was on sale for $15. I almost bought it.
Bro, you should have.
So I was like, I don't
I
got
think-
time for this, dude.
I think
Like,
you would love it, bro. Because it's so open. Like, you can just literally never do anything and just like, go hunting.
that's the problem. I don't want to just do nothing for my whole life. Like,
Like, it's so cool.
But-
That was my issue because, like, I finished the game, but, like, it took me way longer because I was just like, oh, I just want to go duck hunting. And I would just go, or like deer hunting, or like, I'm going to go find the best bear. Like, you just go on your horse and go off. And
yep. I almost bought it. It was $15.
that's a good sale, too. Holy crap.
And I was like, I can't. Whatever.
You should have.
All right. But anyway, that's all the voicemails we have. Oh, did we answer the question about Toto?
Mhm.
I think think we're gonna get anything, but
We were talking about how it could be one episode of him
Oh,
and the
yeah,
and that's how we got to
the Jawas. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think we're gonna get much on that.
I
don't
don't think so. I just want to see the him getting his tubes.
Yep, we'll
If
find
we see
out.
Toto, it's gonna be from the Boba Fett and him dragging.
Okay, moving on. All right, thank you, Sky King and Yaretsi, for your voicemails. We're excited for the show. It comes out in less than a month, and so, but we're not probably, like I said at the beginning, we're probably not going to get to reviewing these episodes and breaking them down until after Andor, which would be probably end of May when we get to that. So we're gonna have to wait. But if you want to talk about that with me when they do come out, join the Discord because there will be a whole channel in there for this series. So join the Discord.
We're
You wanna
allowed
do
to
that?
watch it before we do the podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Sweet.
it. I'm gonna binge them that whole day, dude. So on Star Wars Day. So if you want to join the Discord, go in the description below. Click the links.co/Empire. Links spelled with 2 I's. Click that. There's an invite to the Discord, and you can talk about any show, any movie, all kinds of stuff. And when that show drops, I will be giving my thoughts and talking with people and debating people and asking questions and stuff. So go check that out. Join Discord, a lot of fun. But you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch for live streams. We're live streaming right now. We got like a few people late night,
Super late.
But there's also like the link for the voicemail. Send us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. We've been getting a lot of voicemails lately. Maybe don't send one. I don't know.
No.
Send them in.
Hey,
Send them
we'll
in.
do them all. 11 last week. 25
10
for the end.
We'll
10
see.
already?
We only have 4 so far for this next week coming up. So
we'll get there.
We'll get there. There's also, what else? Fan email. If you need to email us about anything, go check that out. And that's about it, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else, Drew?
No. This was not a 4-hour podcast.
We could.
Well,
we want to talk about something else? We could stretch it out.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, you've been listening to another trailer-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.